gun is as easy as walking into a store and buying a toy gun. All over the United States, there are gun shows selling guns to interest buyers. Going to a show, there is many guns laying out, being held or bought that it can be overwhelming. A gun can be sold to anyone interested, and background checks are not required depending on the seller. The gun shows have a lot of unknowns that it can be scary to people in the community. Gun shows should have a better security method to protect others.
It needs to be longer.
Why?
I don't know, it seems really short.
I don't think it needs to be longer. Your intro is not supposed to be overwhelming.
Makes sense.
Yes. We had to reword something, but that's it.
Okay.
Can I go on?
Yeah.
Living in a community that allows gun shows to be held can be dangerous. Anyone is eligible to go to a gun show. Most of the time before entering there is a fee. Now, depending on the size of the show, the fee ranges from $5 to $10. Having a fee is part of the security when there is no security present. It is said that in most states, gun transfers are not regulated by law. Law enforcement may not be notified if a gun show is not documented by the state. Having a gun show with no security is a risk for everyone. A few risks could be that a gun transfer goes wrong or something gets stolen. Having no security, there is no way to stop the outraged buyer. It also makes it easier for a crowd to be targeted by a shooter, because the criminal knows he can get away with others shooting others. A little mumble jumble, but we can fix that.
And did they explain that quote?
In most states, gun transfers are not regulated by law. In most states, gun transfers. Yeah. And gun show. I mean, we could probably expand on it, but.
Alright.
Are gun shows as safe as everyone thinks? Gun shows are always crowded, having many sellers with a massive amount of guns or merchandise to sell. Usually gun shows are in smaller buildings to keep costs down, making it very difficult to move safely without bumping into anything. Large amounts of guns and people do not mix. One regulation rule is that all guns must be unloaded, tied, and magazines removed. This rule most follow, but sellers are bringing in their own guns and not being checked by the gun show workers. It only takes one person to forget, and a horror story can occur. This has happened in many occasions. Sellers forgetting to unload their gun, and someone came along and set the gun off by just picking it up or looking at it. In a large crowd, a bullet is more than likely to hit someone if a gun is fired. Most know not to point a gun at anyone, but just by picking up the gun the wrong way, it can be set off. It is always very important to have background knowledge when going in a gun show to help protect others and oneself. Other than a few sentences, that was a pretty good one.
The bottom sounds kind of funny. The last sentence sounds funny.
No, I kind of like that. It's always good to have a background knowledge when... I mean, we could rearrange it, but I like the idea of it.
Yeah. What was the quote in that one?
All guns must be unloaded, tied, and the magazine removed. Okay. Which you go into detail about why, and the safeties behind it, and how a horror story could happen, which is very true.
Alright.
Especially if you have no idea what you're doing.
True. Okay.
When going to a gun show, it is important to have a background knowledge of guns and not a criminal background. Without the vendor's knowledge, those who have criminal background or those who may have mental illness can buy a gun. Background checks are not required for private sellers, but only for licensed sellers. With a private seller, a deal can be made faster and a buyer can take a gun home on the same day as purchase. With licensed dealer, a background check is performed and a hold is put on the gun for 48 hours. It is a longer process for licensed dealers, but very simple for private sellers. Private sellers, quote, are not required to keep a paper trail of transaction, quote. This means private sellers can keep all profit they earn from buyers. Most of the time, private sellers keep a record for themselves of the buyer's name, price, and serial number of the gun.
Only the closing.
Yeah, we need to take out a sentence. I don't like this sentence after.
Which one?
This means private sellers can keep all the profit for themselves. I don't think that has anything to do with buying a gun.
Yeah, it kind of sounds weird.
You could probably, instead of saying private sellers are not required, you probably should just put the whole sentence in there. And that quote instead of just that little piece. Probably make a little bit more sense. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay. To help protect others, there should be a better security at gun shows. Gun shows are a popular attraction in some communities. As many guns there may be in West Ohio, it should be illegal to have gun shows at as large as they are. Large crowds make an environment unsafe for visitors. The safety reasons come from those who have had criminal background or those who may have mental illness that the vendors are unaware of. Gun shows are very dangerous and come with a price, but many are willing to attend at any cost.
I like the ending.
You do. We could probably go into a little bit more or say something about. There was something else I would put in there. Never mind, maybe we covered it all. Yeah, I think we did. We could probably expand on and rearrange some of it, but gun shows are a popular attraction in some communities. That's pretty good.
Or just discuss it as a whole.
Well, the whole we need to read out loud next time and see how it sounds.
I reread some of it.
You need to read the whole thing out loud, and if it doesn't sound right out loud, then you know you need to fix it. Another thing would be that commas, we work on those. Other than that, like the idea where it's coming from, we just gotta organize it a little bit better. Excuse you, ma'am.
So it's okay.
No okay paper. A lot of grammar issues. Some words that don't make sense. Other than that, it's pretty good.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I'll need to do some fixer-upper.
Okay.